This is what most robot vacuums look like. And this small little thing is the SwitchBot K10 Pro. Look at the size difference. This is ridiculous. I really can't get over how small this thing is. It literally fits in the palm of my hand. It's the smallest robot vacuum that I've ever seen. But is it any good? Let's try out more. Before we start, thanks to SwitchBot for sponsoring this review. And yes, they did send me this for free. However, my opinions remain objective and unbiased. So the whole idea behind this robot is in fact that it is small. It's ridiculously small. And the advantage of that is if you don't have a lot of space at home, the robot itself is small, the charging base is quite small, but also a small robot can get into places where normal, regular sized robots cannot. They can go under chairs and around the legs, and they can go into tight and narrow spaces. In fact, this has a height of 92 millimeters, which is ridiculously small. And watching it roam around the house was a very funny thing, as I really could not get over how small and cute this thing is. But was it effective? And for its size, I think it was. Of course, you cannot compare this to a fully fledged robot vacuum like the SwitchBot S10, but it's not meant to be. It's meant to be a small, compact robot, and on that front, it delivers. To test the vacuuming performance, I did kind of a stress test. I measured 50 grams of rice and I scattered them on the floor. And as you can see, in some of the areas, there was a lot of rice scattered. So this is not something you typically would have on your floor. That's why it's a stress test. But I was curious, will the vacuum be able to suck them out, and how much of that rice will it be able to pick up? Now, because there's a lot of rice bundled in one area, I set it to vacuum twice over the area. As you can see, the side brush scattered some of the rice, but after a second run, I measured how much rice it was able to collect, and off the 50 grams, it was able to collect 48 grams, which was quite impressive. It has an anti-tangle hairbrush, and I did put that to the test. As you can see, I put some strands of hair on the floor and I let the robot go over them. And as you can see, there was very minimal to no hair tangling on the main brush. The side brush did get some hair as well, but all things considered, I thought it performed really well with very minimal hair tangling. And the K10 Pro has actually two sensors for navigation. It has an LDS laser sensor, but also has a lateral PSD edge sensor, which enables it to better navigate chair legs and walls. And as you can see, it does a fairly good job at navigating chair legs. And to give you an idea how small it actually is, I let it go under my desk chair, which for all other robots, it's impossible to get under. And to be honest, I didn't think it was gonna fit under the desk chair legs. But what do you know? It did. It just went under them and cleaned everything. And to give you an idea about the size difference and how far a normal size, let's say, robot vacuum would go, I put the SwitchBot S10 Pro under that chair, and this is how far it could go, whereas the K10 Plus had absolutely no issue going under the chair. Another area, for example, is in the bathroom, and again, this is how far a normal sized robot would go, but the K10 Pro had no issue just going all the way in and cleaning that area. The robot also comes with a self-emptying dustbin with an antibacterial dust bag that is quite large, actually. It's 4 liters. They say it should last you up to 90 days. And it's fairly silent when it operates. Now you can, in the app, and I'll show you the app in just a second, choose between 4 different suction powers. And at the quiet one, it's fairly silent, but even at the medium one, it's not too loud. Now, the one area which this does not do a great job, in my opinion, is mopping, but it's understandable. With something this small, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to fit an actual mopping mechanism, but they've actually added some form of mopping, which is akin to traditional mopping that you would do, or maybe with your wet Swiffer. And the way this works, if you open the dustbin, there's that mopping component, which is really nothing more than just a plastic plate, which you can install onto the disposable mopping pads that come with it. The good thing is you can also use your own mopping pads. And really the way it works is just you wrap the mopping pad around that component and you just clip it on the bottom of the robot. So all it's really doing is just dragging that mop along the floor. And if you're mopping a large area, probably around 15 or 20 minutes, the mop is not going to be wet anymore. So you would need to replace it. The other thing is, because of the sheer size of this, there's nowhere to put it except on top of the vacuum module, which means when you're mopping, you're not doing vacuuming and mopping at the same time, like what other robot mopping vacuums do. But again, All that is understandable, and this is not meant to be a mopping robot, but rather a minuscule robot. If you are interested in mopping, however, I definitely would invite you to check my video review of the SwitchBot S10 Pro. That one has excellent mopping abilities, which are quite unique because instead of dragging a mopping pad like most, if not all, robot vacuums do, even with sonic vibrations and rotating mopping pads, this one has an actual rotating brush that's constantly being fed with clean water, and the dirty water is being sucked into a dirty water tank. So its mopping performance is second to none in my opinion. So if mopping is important to you, I would not get the K10 Plus, the mini vacuum, but rather the S10 Pro. And again, I'll put links in the description for that video. So now let me briefly walk you through the app and what you can do there. Once you launch the app, and as with all these robots, the first time you add the robot, it's going to go on a discovery run and map your entire house. And then you have the option of renaming the rooms, merging them or whatnot. And there's not a lot of things you can do here. So you can tap a recharge to send it back to its base so that it recharges. Or you can tap empty dust to manually empty the dustbin. And then you can tap clean. And here you have a choice between the whole house. You can select which rooms you want to clean, or you can draw an area on the map and have it clean that area. You can also select if you wanted to clean it once or twice over here. You also have the option of selecting the suction power ranging from quiet, standard, strong, or max. And over here, you can create a schedule if you want it to run on a schedule. You can select the start time, the cleaning method if you want vacuum or mopping, if you want it to be repeated, and if you wanted to clean the entire house, a specific area, or particular rooms, the power level from quiet, standard, strong, or max, and if you wanted to clean once or twice. And then under settings, this is where you can select auto resume cleaning, which is a nice thing. So if it runs out of battery in the middle of a cleaning job, it will go back to its base, recharge, and once it has sufficient power again, it will go back, resume from where it stopped, and continue the cleaning run. You can also enable reduce collision mode, which reduces the collision, but then you do sacrifice a more thorough clean as it might skip some areas. And you can also configure the dust collection from fast, standard, or enhanced, which ranges from 10 seconds up to 25 seconds. But also you can choose the dust collection frequency from light, regular, or enhanced. Lastly, if you have any of the voice assistants, whether it's from Google, Amazon, or Siri, you can enable these over here under cloud services. And you can, of course, on the map, select different no-go zones, whether it's carpet, you don't want it to go on top when you're mopping, or if it's a particular area that you don't want the robot messing up, then you can do that on the map. So here are my thoughts on the K10 Plus Pro. As I said earlier, it's not going to compete in terms of features or performance with a fully fledged robot vacuum like the SwitchBot S10 Pro. But if what you're looking for is a very small robot vacuum, whether it's to get into tiny spaces or if you don't have a lot of space at home and you want something small, then this might be for you. For its size, it performs surprisingly well, and just watching this cute little thing roam around the house is just pleasant to the eyes. That's all for me. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments section. I'll put links in the description to the K10 Plus Pro. These are affiliate links, so if you do decide to purchase this, I may earn some commission on some purchases at no extra cost to you. This will greatly help support the channel. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, as this encourages me to continue producing content. Until next time, cheers.